let's jump right into it. Alright, so I'm Chris. Hold on. Alright, welcome to episode 8 of Figuring Out Fatherhood. Today I'm with Yems. Yems or Yemi? Yems. What you say, you got
Sweet, bro.
Yeah, tell us about yourself, Yems.
My name's Yemi, I'm 29. My son's 8 years old. My son's name's Kaylen, Kaylen. Had him very young. I was 20 when I found out. He was here when I was 21. So yeah, there's a lot of things that were happening at the time.
Yeah.
So
let's jump right into the thick of it. So you said you found out when you were 20.
Yeah.
How did you feel at the age of 20? So where were you at that point in time actually? Uni, home, what were you doing?
So at that point, I just lost my brother. Many people know my brother. My brother was quite popular. So I was 20, my brother was 22. Lost my brother to unknown causes, sudden death. Then, so obviously he's my firstborn. He's the firstborn, my brother. So after that, obviously I found out now around Christmas, my brother passed in August, that my son's mum at the time was pregnant. So it was like 3 months into the relationship with her. And after my brother's passed, I just found out I'm going to be a dad.
Okay.
Had a court case pending at the end of that year, at the turning of the year, with one of my close friends. Won't mention his name. He's already in trouble doing his own thing, so that's irrelevant. But yeah, court case with him. He didn't learn his lesson. Okay. And
or you did.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Just to clarify.
I learned my lesson. I'm a good youth.
It's cool, man.
Good youth. So yeah.
So that's quite heavy.
Yeah. So I was expecting after losing, as it usually happens when you lose, you get one back. So that tends to be the issue. So yeah, so I've just come out of jail, expecting a baby. We haven't told my mum yet. We've told my mum as I'm in jail because we don't know if I'm gonna bust the case or not, because it could be coming out in a couple of months or coming out in 5-8 years.
Of course, yeah.
So it was a situation of telling my parents in jail, and then my mum was like, "It's fine, don't worry."
Who reached out to your parents?
She told my mum while I was when I got remanded. She had to tell my mum, obviously after the court case,
of course,
that yeah, auntie, I'm pregnant. But at this moment, my mum knew she had cancer, so we didn't know this yet in 2010. She just found out obviously after my brother passed that she had cancer. So to her, it was the best news for her. But at this point, I don't have a clue. So yeah, it's a big cycle of things leading up to becoming a dad. So becoming a dad young and with a lot going on, yeah, it wasn't the easiest. It wasn't the easiest. At the same time, it was like a fresh start for me. Okay. So sometimes I used it as a getaway, but obviously being dads, I'm probably sure I'm not the only one that we might have this fixation in our head of how we want our parenthood to go. You want it to be with this woman, you want her to be like this, I want to have 3 kids, 4 kids, 2 kids, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But then the reality of it is everything happens for a reason. Everything happens seasonally. Like nothing ever happens in your life unless it has to happen. Nobody leaves or enters your life unless they need to leave or they need to be here for you to learn something. So I just took it as that. So that was just the first step of parenthood. So
this was I would say this was the first initial 9 months. This is all that happened. That's this time.
Yeah. So before he's even here.
Before I even
know what he looks like.
So at the point where when he was actually born, were you out of jail?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What were your feelings at that point in time, and how was the dynamic with you, your mum, your son's mum? What was it like?
At that point, it was actually quite good because obviously, in his mum's case.
So sorry, you bust case at that point.
Yeah, okay. Bust case. I was only in jail for 2 months. Don't know, I have no stretch. Trust me, I don't scream that or something. Yeah. Hear me, it's not that. Anyone that does that's your business. But yeah, it was a different dynamic because, like I said, it was a fresh start. It was something new. Obviously, considering we've lost someone, and it's something new to me. I've never done it before. Like, anyone that's a parent, you've never done it before. Even if it's your 5th kid, you've never done it before. So
this was your parents' first grandchild, right?
Yeah.
How did they feel? Because you said your mum had cancer, so at that point it was like a gift.
Yeah. For her, it was like a leaving present, because obviously at the time, nobody knew how serious that situation was. But for her, it's a blessing for her and any family. You've lost your firstborn, you've lost a family member in general, it's always nice to have something balanced, like a bittersweet situation. So that was that. But for me, it was like, I've lost the one guy that I'm supposed to learn off of as a role model to me, and now I'm supposed to be a role model to a whole new person.
Yeah,
They're trying to take the piss out of me right now. So I was thinking life is like, what you
Yeah,
doing?
I get that. Yeah.
So it was but at the same time, like I said, I needed a distraction. So a child is a big distraction. So
That's all we were looking at it. So at that point, you said, so you had your child, and he was born in what month? Like what month of the year?
the 5th of November.
November. So were you working, or were you at that point in time when he was born?
At that time, I was actually working, yeah. I was actually in uni at the time. No, I tell you, I was in uni at the time. I was going to Greenwich University. Said to myself, I'm going to go Greenwich, don't want to go to a Bait Uni, I don't even want an ACS.
Just want to stay out.
I just want to go there and do my work. I don't want to see people. Then I went there before I even finished the first year. Feel like getting weak.
You know what? Fair enough.
It happens, innit?
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened. Didn't get to finish it. I was actually doing quite well in uni. Obviously, with the whole jail thing, I missed a lot of uni because being in jail at the time, being on remand. So when I came out in time for my exams, done all my exams, passed my exams, but I missed too much coursework. So I would have had to restart the year. So it was like, start again first year or get a job and then just start this parenthood thing. So I had to get a job. So I started my first job. I was working in Primark, Oxford Street. So that was an experience in itself as well.
So how did you manage all the? Because obviously having a child at 21, you're still fairly young. So how did you manage the process? Because you're still a child at that point. I know people look at it differently, but 21, you're still your age mates. For lack of a better word, they are still in education. So they are still kind of like children. So you had to be a man at such a young age. How did you find that? What was the transition like? I guess. It
was very, very difficult. Like at the time, you probably think you're doing everything right. You think you're doing this right. You're doing this, like, especially I didn't have the best father figures growing up, but that wasn't an excuse. It was like, to me, it was like my dad was shit, my dad was this, my dad was that. So I'm gonna do everything he didn't do for me, for my son. I'm gonna be better than this. I'm gonna be better than that. That was my motivation. Like I said, so it was like a quick reaction of obviously losing someone and everything, and wanting to give back to someone. So that's how it felt for me. But at the same time, you can think too much of yourself. Think that, like, because your dad, when he's doing it, he probably doesn't know what he's doing. He's learning you, and that's what made me realize how to be a better dad. Like, knowing how much I disliked my dad. I'm born on the same day as my dad. I'm literally junior. That was a birthday present for my dad. I look exactly like him. Like, it's ridiculous. But we do not get along. And from that, I learned that doesn't matter how much I look like my dad. My kid can look like me, splitting image, same birthday, etc. That is not me. That's what a lot of our parents do to ourselves. We are not them. So I've learned now that I just have to learn my child, figure out who he is, and then that's the way I could be a better dad for him. It's like, even me bettering myself, that's for me, that's not for him. If I can be a better me for myself, then I can be a better dad for him in general. Like, everyone has to be everyone's job is in-house. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. So if I understand him before he understands himself, I can give him the tools to better himself. Because all he needs is himself. Ultimately, all anyone ever needs is themselves. But obviously at their young age, they don't know that yet. So parents, they don't really figure out that at a young age because of religion, because of culture, because of all sorts of stuff that can come into play. But that's when it proper kicked on for me. Like, my relationship with my dad, and being such a young dad, it's like I can't do everything by myself from the beginning. No matter how much I'm thinking that I'm doing things right, to somebody I could be getting something wrong. So I tried not to watch other people. I literally just tried to focus more on me and him's relationship. And then that's where we are now. And when people see us, it's like, they're like, oh, I love how you got your relationship with your son. And, oh, it seems like you're really hands-on, you really do this. It's like, cool. But to me, I'm thinking to myself, I could be doing more. that you could be doing more. Like, say you mentioned earlier about feeling useless or feeling not be able to do something for your child. My child's a bit older now.
Yeah.
So it's like he's 8, he's getting to school and he's coming across kids that their parents trying to make them young teenagers at the age of 8.
Okay.
Like they're obviously in the area that I grew up in. Some of these kids, same age as my son, they know about gang banging, bang bang, all this music. They know drill music. They know the songs front to back. I could play a drill song now, my son will never know it because I don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how it is with him. So I protect my son also from who he plays with. People that I grew up with, I don't even let them. Their kids mix with my kids.
Really?
And I grew up with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will pick and choose when I want them to because he's a very, very nice kid. He's very, very much still got his innocence, and I'd like to keep that. He's built to destroy, but he doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
I don't want him to know that now because why does he need to know that he can do that to people? But at the same time, these other kids, and he doesn't understand it. Sometimes some of them are too bashful and whatnot. He just wants to hold hands, play, share, and things like that. And it's like they don't know about sharing. They don't know how to interact with other kids.
Well, like it's mine kind of kids.
Yeah, all that type. It's like if he sees another kid, he's going over there and giving the kid one of his toys and say, "Hey, you've got one now for yourself. You can play by yourself or you can play with me, but you have one for yourself now, so don't worry," sort of thing. And it's like, oh, that's nice. I love that. I tell him all the time, "Well done, I'm proud of you. You're a nice kid." And I get compliments on him all the time.
So it seems like you've done really amazing, especially considering the fact that you had him when you were 21. So. Because I know, like, realistically speaking, unfortunately, there's this stigma that goes around if you have a child so young because they expect you're still a child to them, you're irresponsible to them, all that stuff. Do you feel like there was a stigma behind you when you had him so young? Because right now it seems like you're defying expectations.
I haven't, because it's a learning process. You learn on the job. That there's no such thing as the perfect dad and all that stuff because you've never done it before. Even if it's your first child, you've never done it before. If it's your 5th child, you've never done it before because that child is not the same as the other person. You can have twins. You've never done it before because that kid is not. He looks like him, but that's not him. It's 2 different people. So it's always a brand new task. Every child, every person is a brand new task because you won't speak to me the way you want to speak to John.
Of course not. Yeah.
So it's exactly it's the same thing with children.
So you reckon there was no stigma when there was no kind of expectation? There was, like I said, there was because I haven't done it before. So in my head, I was thinking I had to do it this way, I had to do it that way. But then when you get into the active, it's like even now, I might sound like I'm saying all the right things, but I really don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm still winging it. But it's informed improvisation. That's one thing to call it.
So, and that's what life is. I learn off you, I learn off somebody else, I learn that, and then what I've learned off you, I implement in life. But at the same time, I've never done this life thing before.
Well, honestly, I'm winging it too. We're all winging it. What I'm hoping to do with this platform is just create a space where people can reference.
Exactly.
So the fact that you've done it at 21 and you turn your life around like this, it's amazing for me to see, to hear. And I hope it inspires someone else as well. So, do you have any advice for anyone that's having like a child, young, expecting fathers, or they might have a kid already at a young age?
Thing I would say is be useful and be nice to people. And be nice to your child's parent and the child's mom or your child's dad, even if the relationship between you has not been what you wanted it to be. Because it's like me growing up, I realized all my animosity and hatred towards my dad is because of watching how he treated my mom. And then growing up, I've now tried to rebond with my dad, tried to build bridges, but it's the acknowledgement of what he's done growing up he doesn't want to take. And then things like that, when you can't build a bridge if somebody doesn't want to acknowledge what they've done. So even if I'm not even expecting an apology, just acknowledge it, things like that. So from that, he's thought that we've been poisoned, our minds have been poisoned towards him, but it's literally, we've seen the evidence ourselves. So our kids will see everything. Even if they feel things, if you feel you're an empath and you feel you can feel this and that, believe me, children can. I clocked from the age of 2 that my son is an empath. That boy was in the hospice when my mum was just about to pass. He could feel the energy in the room. This boy is not supposed to know how everyone's supposed to feel. He's seen that the room is down. He's trying to make everybody laugh while he's giving my mum a hug. He's pulling faces. Like, when you can see everyone's mood is down. It's not your job. I'm looking at him like, you're 2 years old. This is not your job to be trying to do this. How do you even know that this room needed that? That from there, if you can see that in a child, some parents can, but they'll try and sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah.
But you have to see these things in your children from young, because the way you get upset and you feel a type of way because your parents didn't see it in yourself, don't be the hypocrite. Be the person you needed when you was young.
Yeah. So what you're saying is to try and be aware of the energy you're exposing your child to, really, and what you're giving them, because they're gonna soak up what you put out, really.
Yes, basically, yeah, in a way. So if I'm trying to figure out the right words to use, because
Nah, it's fine. Take your time.
But yeah, so because like I said, it's very, very, very important to try and shelter them from certain energies, but at the same time, I don't want to shelter him too much. He needs to experience things in life, because you don't want it to happen too late. Some people, you need to know what they can take.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
So I'll let you experience it, and I'll see how you react to it. This is your natural way of reacting. You might be naturally gifted at reacting to something in this situation. If you're not, I'll give you the tools that you need now, if the situation comes up again. But you can't run from the situation. At the same time, I can't let it be the first time when you hit 22 that you've come across this situation, because your mind's already registered to a certain way now. You won't know how to deal with it when you get to that age. So it's informed freestyling.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's lovely having you on. Jens, take it easy, my bro. Anything else you got going on? Where can they find your social media?
I'll do photography every now and then.
Why every now and then? Why not consistently?
It's a hobby that I'm trying to turn to a career.
Okay.
I've been doing it for long enough. TW images on Instagram. Don't really post too much on there because it's more of a word of mouth thing, but more into the music thing. So yeah, singer, songwriter, all of that stuff there. On the socials, I'm Big Yems on Instagram or Big Yems Omo on Twitter. But yeah, that's me.
Love, thank you.
No worries.
Alright. Cool.